Pythagorean theorem. Here we go. Okay, step one, I'm going to make a new project. So right here, I could just click on the new project button, which is, I think, that button. And then we're making something for HTML5. So I click the next button. And then the project name is going to be, I don't know, you can call it Pythagorean theorem. I already have one called Pythagorean theorem, so I'm just going to call this one Pythagoras. Like that. And then click next, and then probably finish is good. And it'll make all your files for you. And right away we're brought into the index HTML. Okay, we're also going to be making some new files. We're going to be making a JavaScript file. So yeah, I should have done that back there. But I'm just going to click on New File. And we're looking for, it's going to be a JavaScript file like that. And then I'm going to click the next button. And I'm going to call it Pythagoras, because I have no imagination. Like that. And then I'm going to do the same for the CSS. So click plus, and I'm going to call this one, whoops, back over to Cascading Style Sheet. That's what CSS stands for. And click the next button. And then give it a name. So Pythagoras. Finish. Okay, so there's my CSS, my JavaScript, and my HTML. In the HTML, I'm going to make a little text box, or a bunch of text boxes saying, enter your A, B, and C. So I'm just going to, right up here, the title is going to be Pythagorean Theorem. And then down here I'm going to make a div, and this is going to be, a div just divides up the screen. I'm going to give it an ID, and the ID is going to be, I don't know, my triangle ID. So ID is equal to try_div, I'm going to call it. Try_div. Okay. And inside that div, I'm going to put 3 text boxes. And I'm also going to put an image. I'm going to put a triangle image, and then I'm going to arrange those text boxes around the triangle image. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make an input. So I'm going to write A. So this is text that you're going to see on the screen. And I'm going to put input. The type is going to be text. Type equals, right? Text. Like so. And I'm going to give it an ID. So the ID of this text box is going to be, because I have almost no imagination whatsoever, A. You don't want to use your imagination to name these things, right? You want to just give them the most descriptive name possible. Okay? And then I'm going to close that input box like that. Okay, so that's my A, and I'm going to make a B and a C just by copying the A. So that's going to be B, and that's going to be my C, and this one's going to be, its ID is going to be B, and this one's ID is going to be C, and there we go. Okay, so we have 3 input boxes. All right, let's see what that looks like. I'm just going to click Run, and we should see A, B, and C, and some text boxes. There they are, okay? Later on we're going to use CSS to make these small and to move them around the screen, but right now that's the way they appear. Okay, then I want a little button, a little calculate button, and so let's go back into NetBeans and do that. So we're going to make a button, and I'm going to put that, actually, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to make little divs for these A's and B's and C's. So I'm going to make a little div here. Div, like that. And yeah, so I'm just going to close the div after here. And I'm going to call this, I'm going to give it an ID, and that's going to be my A div. A underscore div, like that. Okay, and I'm going to make a B div and a C div around the C, like that. And that's going to allow us to move those things around a little bit easier. Okay, and I'm going to put closed divs after each of these things. Okay, now notice up here we have this div, my try div, okay? And everything, my 3 other divs are inside that. And so they're indented.